On a quiet night, under a sky full of stars, there was a city that shone brightly, a place where people lived happily, worked hard, and built amazing things. The streets were full of life, with merchants selling rare goods, scholars sharing ideas, and builders creating incredible structures. This city wasn't just any city. It was a marvel of its time. But then, it disappeared. Gone. Without a single warning, everything vanished, as if it had never been there. No one knows how or why. Was it a disaster, a war, or something even stranger? Today, the city's name is almost forgotten, only mentioned in old stories and quiet whispers. What happened to this great civilization? Why did it vanish so suddenly? This isn't just a story about the past, it's a mystery that still puzzles everyone today. As we begin this journey, we'll uncover the secrets of a city that reached the heights of greatness, only to disappear forever. Buried under dirt and rocks are pieces of a story waiting to be told. Bits of broken pottery, carvings on stone walls, and tools that seem too advanced for their time, these are all clues to what once was. They tell us about a kingdom that was creative, smart, and way ahead of its time. But how did they create such amazing things? How did they build structures that still stand strong after thousands of years? Archaeologists have found things that don't seem possible: walls made of perfectly cut stones, water systems that still work, and metal tools that are almost as good as what we use today. These discoveries make us wonder, who were these people? How did they live? And why did they disappear? Each piece we find brings us closer to the truth, but it also leaves us with more questions. What kind of kingdom could do all this, and how could it simply vanish? Imagine walking through a city that feels like it belongs in the future. The streets are perfectly organized, the buildings are tall and strong, and the air buzzes with energy. This was not a regular city. It was a place where everything seemed advanced beyond its years. The people here weren't just builders or traders, they were inventors and thinkers. They made tools that were more precise than anything else in the world at the time. Their homes had running water, their markets were full of goods from faraway lands, and their schools taught ideas that other places hadn't even thought of yet. But how did they know so much? Were they just ahead of everyone else? Or did they have knowledge passed down from somewhere unknown? These questions only deepened the mystery of their disappearance. How could a place so advanced be wiped from history, leaving almost no trace behind? The kingdom reached its peak during what we now call its golden age. Everything seemed perfect. People were wealthy, art and culture flourished, and their leaders were respected. It was a time of peace, innovation, and growth. Their trade networks stretched far and wide, bringing exotic goods, ideas, and even people from different parts of the world. They developed a rich culture, full of music, festivals, and traditions that made their city come alive. This wasn't just a kingdom, it was a symbol of human achievement. But no golden age lasts forever. Beneath the surface of prosperity, small cracks were beginning to show. Some people whispered about power struggles in the royal court, while others worried about the growing reliance on trade for survival. Was this the beginning of the end? At first, the signs were easy to ignore. A few bad harvests, small disagreements between leaders, and a slight drop in trade. These things happen to every civilization, right? But for this kingdom, they were warnings of something much bigger. People began to notice changes. The once busy markets were quieter, and some traders stopped coming altogether. Farmers spoke of strange weather patterns, and the rivers that had always been full started to dry up. At the same time, tensions within the royal family began to rise. Arguments over power and control started to divide the leaders. What seemed like small problems quickly grew into larger ones. And just like that, the city that had once been so full of life started to feel fragile. The people didn't know it yet, but their kingdom was heading toward disaster. The first major blow came from nature itself. The ground shook violently one day, destroying buildings and leaving people terrified. Some said the gods were angry, while others thought it was just bad luck. Either way, the earthquake marked the beginning of a series of natural disasters that the kingdom couldn't recover from. Floods came next, washing away crops and destroying homes. The rivers that had given life to the kingdom turned into forces of destruction. People struggled to rebuild, but with every disaster their resources grew thinner, and their hope faded. These disasters weren't just events, they were warnings. Warnings that something bigger was coming. The kingdom's strength, both physically and emotionally, was being tested like never before. As if nature's fury wasn't enough, the kingdom's enemies saw its struggles and decided to strike. Neighboring rulers who had once envied its wealth and power now saw an opportunity to take what they wanted. Raids began along the kingdom's borders. Villages were attacked, trade routes were disrupted, and fear spread like wildfire. The once mighty army, now stretched thin from dealing with internal issues, struggled to defend its people. The enemies didn't just want victory, they wanted to wipe this kingdom off the map. The royal leaders tried to unite their forces, but disagreements and mistrust among them only made things worse. Every battle chipped away at their strength, and every loss deepened the cracks in their unity. Could this kingdom, which once stood as a symbol of power, survive such relentless attacks? In times of crisis, unity is the key to survival. But for this kingdom, betrayal came from within. Trusted advisors and powerful nobles, seeing the chaos around them, began plotting for their own gain. Some secretly sided with the enemy, hoping to secure power for themselves. Others undermined the king's authority, spreading rumors and causing divisions within the court. What should have been a time for cooperation turned into a game of deceit, where no one could be trusted. One night, a trusted ally opened the gates of a fortified town to enemy forces, leading to its swift destruction. The betrayal shocked the kingdom, but it also revealed a hard truth. Their greatest danger wasn't just outside their walls. It was within them. How do you fight enemies when they're disguised as friends? The kingdom's fall wasn't a slow decline, it happened almost overnight. On what seemed like an ordinary evening, chaos erupted. Enemy forces, emboldened by the kingdom's weakness and aided by traitors, launched a massive attack. The once grand capital city, with its shining palaces and bustling streets, became a battlefield. Fires raged, and the sounds of battle echoed through the night. People fled in terror, leaving behind their homes, their belongings, and their dreams. By morning, the city was unrecognizable. The kingdom that had once stood as a beacon of strength and prosperity was no more. The survivors, scattered and broken, carried with them only memories of what had been. This wasn't just the end of a kingdom, it was the end of an era. Even in the darkest times, hope can find a way to survive. Among the chaos and destruction, small groups of people managed to escape. They carried with them fragments of their culture, artifacts, stories, and traditions that would one day become the only evidence of their kingdom's existence. These survivors traveled far, settling in distant lands and blending into other societies. They whispered tales of their lost homeland, ensuring that its memory lived on. Some even tried to rebuild, creating small communities that carried echoes of the greatness they had once known. But as generations passed, these stories began to fade. The kingdom became a legend, then a myth, and finally just a mystery. Today, the question remains, could there still be descendants of this lost civilization among us? As the years turned into centuries, the kingdom became a distant memory. The great palaces and bustling streets that once defined it were now hidden beneath layers of earth and forgotten by those who once cherished it. The names of its kings, its heroes, and its people faded from history, leaving only cryptic whispers. But legends have a way of persisting. Stories of a great civilization lost to time began to resurface in neighboring cultures. Travelers spoke of ruins deep in the forests, strange artifacts unearthed by farmers, and songs that seemed to tell of a world long gone. These remnants sparked curiosity and kept the kingdom's memory alive, though no one could separate fact from fiction. What truly remained of this once mighty civilization, and was it too late to uncover the truth? Centuries later, archaeologists began piecing together clues that suggested the kingdom wasn't just a myth. Deep in unexplored jungles and under shifting sands, they found ruins that hinted at a once thriving society. Stone walls, carvings, and remnants of tools painted a picture of an advanced and organized civilization. Among the most astonishing discoveries was a series of symbols etched into stone, an ancient language unlike any other. Scholars struggled to decode its meaning, hoping to unlock secretaries about the kingdom's rise and fall. Each artifact found told a story of ingenuity, culture, and ambition. But with every answer came more questions. How had such a great civilization disappeared so completely? Could the Arawans hold evidence of their final days? The deeper the researchers dug, the closer they came to understanding a history that had been lost for centuries. As evidence grew, so did the theories. Historians and scientists proposed countless explanations for the kingdom's mysterious demise. Some pointed to natural disasters, massive floods, earthquakes, or volcanic eruptions that could have wiped out entire cities. Others believed the fall was caused by human hands. They argued that political corruption, economic collapse, or internal conflicts had weakened the kingdom, leaving it vulnerable to outside forces. A smaller group proposed more mysterious ideas. Could the kingdom's downfall have been due to an advanced technology or knowledge that backfired? Was it possible they had discovered something that should never have been uncovered? These theories dided experts, but one thing was clear. Whatever happened to this civilization left a void in history that we are still struggling to fill. One of the most common theories is that the kingdom's own wealth and power led to its downfall. Known for its abundant resources and thriving trade, the kingdom became a target for neighboring empires. Greed, both within and outside its borders, may have played a pivotal role. Rival powers envied its riches, while factions within the kingdom fought for control of its treasures. Historical accounts from nearby regions describe desperate battles and betrayals that hint at a kingdom tearing itself apart. Could their pursuit of more wealth have blended them to the dangers around them? Greed has often been humanity's undoing, and this kingdom's story is a stark reminder of how ambition, left unchecked, can lead to disaster. Even in the face of catastrophe, some survived. Scattered records and oral traditions suggest that small groups of the kingdom's people fled their homeland, seeking refuge in distant lands. They carried with them fragments of their culture, art, stories, and knowledge passed down through generations. These survivors blended into other societies, their identity slowly fading into the larger tapestry of history. However, traces of their influence can still be found in the architecture, language, and traditions of neighboring regions. Were these survivors the final keepers of the kingdom's legacy? Or did they bury their secrets deep, ensuring that the truth about their civilization would remain hidden forever? The fall of this advanced civilization sent shockwaves far beyond its borders. Neighboring kingdoms, once reliant on its trade and alliances, were thrown into chaos. Economies crumbled and political landscapes shifted as leaders scrambled to adapt to the loss of a powerful ally or rival. This sudden void in the region's power structure led to new alliances, conflicts, and even the rise of other empires. The kingdom's disappearance wasn't just the end of an era, it was the beginning of a new chapter in human history. But the true impact wasn't just political or economic. The story of this lost civilization became a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the fragility of even the most advanced societies. It left humanity with a haunting question. Could we, too, face the same fate if we failed to learn from the past? Despite its disappearance, The kingdom's legacy lives on in the stories, art, and traditions of the cultures it touched. Myths and legends inspired by its rise and fall continue to captivate audiences, appearing in everything from ancient poetry to modern films. In art, the kingdom is often depicted as a golden utopia, a place of beauty, wisdom, and unimaginable wealth. These romanticized portrayals have fueled countless expeditions as explorers and dreamers seek to uncover its lost treasures. But beyond the myths lies a deeper truth. The kingdom's story resonates because it reflects universal themes of ambition, resilience, and loss. It reminds us of the heights humanity can achieve and the dangers of hubris and complacency. The story of this lost civilization raises an unsettling question. Are modern societies immune to the same fate? With advancements in technology and knowledge, it's easy to believe that we've overcome the challenges of the past. Yet, history has shown that no civilization is invincible. Environmental degradation, political unrest, and economic inequality remain as relevant today as they were in ancient times. The same forces that led to the kingdom's fall, greed, division, and the neglect of warning signs, continue to threaten modern societies. This story isn't just a glimpse into the past, it's a mirror reflecting our present. It challenges us to confront our vulnerabilities and take action to ensure that history doesn't repeat itself. The search for answers about this lost kingdom continues. Archaeologists, historians, and scientists work tirelessly to piece together its story, uncovering new clues with each discovery. Recent advances in technology, such as satellite imagery and underwater exploration, have brought us closer to uncovering the truth. Yet, for every question answered, new mysteries arise. What secrets still lie buried beneath the earth and sea? And will we ever fully understand the events that led to its disappearance? The quest for truth isn't just about solving a historical puzzle. It's about preserving the memory of a civilization that shaped the world in ways we are only beginning to comprehend. As we reach the end of this journey, one thing becomes clear. The story of this lost civilization is far from over. Its ruins, artifacts, and legends continue to inspire curiosity, sparking new questions and theories with each generation. Perhaps the true legacy of this kingdom isn't its wealth or achievements, but the mystery it left behind. A mystery that challenges us to keep searching, learning, and reflecting. In the end, the story of this civilization is a reminder of the impermanence of greatness and the enduring power of human curiosity. It's a tale that urges us to cherish what we have, strive for understanding, and never stop seeking the truth.